guys, one more lesson, and today's lesson is the audio. Last one was the image. This one is the audio element, and the audio element is a double tag element, or is an element with a double tag. As we mentioned before, we have some elements that has a single tag, it's just opening tag, and some other elements has open and close. The image one, like the one we had in the last lesson, was in a single tag with several attributes, and this one, the audio, it's a double tag element. The way you do it, you put the audio, and then you close. You have the open and the close tag, and between the open and close tag, you put the attribute, like you put the file that you want. So I'm going to include the file, the audio file, which I already prepared. If you notice here on the side, let me close this. On the side, in the same folder as the index.html, we have an audio file called cinematic hit mp3, and there is another one, mixkit cartoon toy.wave. There is several extensions for audio files, like mp3 extension and wave, the WAV and OGG. We'll talk about this in a minute, and we'll talk. Some browsers support wave, some browsers support mp3, some browsers support the three of them. So to be in the safe side, you need to include the three of them just in case. The way you do this, between the open and close tag in audio, you put the source tag. I'm going to put the source tag, the whole source tag, and the source tag is a single tag. So we have a single tag within a double tag. So let me put the source here, and in the source tag there is an attribute. You put the src, and inside the src attribute you put, just like I'm gonna pick the cartoon here. Oops. Oh, no, I opened the file. I don't want to open the file. I'm just gonna put here the name of the file. So here's the name of the file, and then there is another attribute here after the name of the file, after the src. It's the type, and in the type you put the audio and /wave. This is telling the browser that the type of that file is this. But if you notice here, I'm going to save here. If you notice here, nothing happened. You don't see anything. When I refresh the screen, you don't see anything on the browser. So the way you include things in the browser, in the audio opening tag, you put the attribute, the control. You put this control, so you can see controls here, control. So this way, if you notice here, when I look on the side here, you see the control, and the control actually is like you need to play the file. You need just to click here. This is how you do it. The problem we have is that some browsers support the WAV with the extension, and some browser doesn't. So to be safe all the time, you need to include. So let me just copy that. You include it 3 times just in case, with the 3 different extension, mp3 and mp3, and with the third extension is what? The OGG. This is the safest way to do it, to include all. This way it's guaranteed that all browsers, like some people use the Chrome browser, some people use the Safari, some using the Firefox. So when you have the 3 different way, wait a minute, and you need also to change this to the mp3, and you need to change this type to OGG, and make sure you include the 3 files here on your. So having them here only is not going to work. You have to include. You have to save the file with the 3 different extensions. So, and they should be all the same in the same folder as the index.html. This is the safest way to have it. So this way, it's gonna the browser will work if it's wave. So it's going to work with the wave. If it doesn't support wave, it's going to move to the next one, which is mp3. If it doesn't support, it's going to move to the third one. And there is an error message just in case if something happens. I don't want to confuse you, but if you have the 3 different files, definitely the browser is going to support one of them. So this is one thing. There is another attribute. Let me just see. There is no need for those two now. Let me just remove them. We have the cartoon one here. It's just if you click on it. Yeah. There is another one under the control here. There is another attribute called the loop. This loop will keep looping the sound. So as soon as you, let me save this first, and then as soon as you click on the control here to play the audio file, it will keep looping. It will. So this is this. Some people want to include this in their design or info. Another attribute that we have is the muted. You put muted, so this way, if you run the file, you're not gonna listen to anything. And you notice here that muted, you need the sign of muted is tells you that the sign, you need to remove it. So okay, there is a fourth attribute which is very dangerous, and I don't recommend to put it, which is the autoplay. The autoplay is the problem with autoplay. Let me just unmute this and then save. And then as soon as you run this, let me just remove the muted here. As soon as you run the file, the file will be running with autoplay. It's going to play. And the problem with this is some customers or some people, they will start their file and they don't know what's going on. That sounds keep running and running and running. So it's very, they won't be able to know what's going on. So the best thing is just, if you want to put the autoplay, put the muted with it. So this way, it's not going to work unless they remove the muting. So anyway, this is just a quick view about the audio element that you can have in your HTML. All what you need to remember, it's a double element. It's have open and close tag, and within that you need to put the source element, which is a single tag, and within the source tag you put the two attribute, the src and the type, and make sure to include the three different the extension, which is the .wav and the .mp3 and the .ogg, to be safe. Most browsers, they support all of them, but just in case, to be safe, you have to include the three files also in your folder. I think that's it for this lesson, and I will see you next lesson, guys.